Hey Suhas, thanks for taking the time out. Really appreciate that taking time out and sharing your feedback about how your journey with Lean Six Sigma Pro has been over a period of time. I know you come from a manufacturing background, but you might want to introduce yourself, get some details about what your experience has been and the domain you have been working on.
Mhm. Sure. Thank you, Sangram, for inviting me and doing this. I have a total experience of 13 years, and it's completely in manufacturing. So, I have been through production, process engineering, quality, and now presently I am leading the continuous improvement team in one of the German MNC. The team is small, but yes, a very kind of the continuous improvement role. So how it is. So yes, this is my background. So it's been like good 13 years. So different departments, different work profiles, and now into the continuous improvement. Yeah.
Very nice, good. And I believe the organization where you're currently working is a precision industry kind of a stuff. So all the uh, machines, the variations has to be micromanaged, if I want to call it. So what has
Mhm.
been your journey with Six Sigma? When did it start, and how did it get triggered?
Yeah, like as you said, my company handles with the precision optics. So the process and the parameters that we have are all very fine. So have to be managed second to second. So there's a lot of variations also in the processes. So there's one side to it. So my journey with Six Sigma has been like I would say like before like 4 5 years it started. So as a process engineer, I was working with machines, processes, and all. And then there were like a lot of variations and stuff. And then it's always like, what is the improvement that we can do? You can do a lot of improvement with just common sense, and
Mm-hmm.
you see it, you do it. So that is one way. And then you use specialized tools. And Six Sigma is one such tool with which you can solve a lot of complex problems, not the design part, but just your process related problems. And that is where my interest started with Six Sigma. And I started exploring a lot of online knowledge base and stuff like that. I did it myself. And then I took up a course in statistical quality control with ISI in Bangalore. I completed it for like it was a 9 months course, long weekend course. So that was one eye opener for me, how problems can be handled and how can they be solved. And then as I went on, I handled quality where there was a lot of other quality related issues. And then now with production productivity issues and all. So I also wanted something with Six Sigma and kind of lean. So that is where I was looking for a course, and not a course but knowledge base where I can really take some good knowledge out of it and try to implement in my industry and the place where I'm working. And that is where it all started. The interest started with Lean Six Sigma and Six Sigma. Mhm.
That's great. That's good to know about it. But I'm sure, and you would have also explored online. There is a lot of content available out there, and a lot of institution also out there who offer different courses, different certifications. And I'm sure you would have evaluated many of those. So how did you go about it, and why did you kind of decide to go with Lean Six Sigma Pro?
Okay, before telling this or answering to your point, let me tell you that I'm quite active on LinkedIn, and I get involved in a lot of group discussions about this kind of topics. Where I have a doubt, I put my question on the LinkedIn uh, panel, and they are like a lot of experts with a lot of experience with them. So they try to answer the questions, and you get a lot of knowledge out of it. So in such one instance, I put my question and I was like looking for some answers. And that is where Srinivas from Lean Six Sigma Pro, or XergY formerly, like. So he took part in that discussion, and he answered one of my questions in such a way that it was quite easy to understand, not very kind of jargon or hi-fi language that he used, but very simple. So, and that is the pointer where okay, there is something to it, and I started working on it. And then this discussions got more and more every day, and I could read a lot of content that Srinivas used to post. because I was kind of attracted to the content and the way he used to put his point of view on the panel. And then I came to know that he has a institute which is doing training and things like that. So that is one part. And as you know, there's a lot of institutions, tons of courses offered on internet. It doesn't matter like how and what you get. It is all like the approach that they take, the institutes or training institute, the approach that they take, and the faculty experience which matters. Because all the Six Sigma and Lean kind of thing is, it cannot be a classroom kind of thing. One is, it should be some person who has some knowledge coming there and teaching you something, some tools. That will not work that way. So it is not to be taught that way. So a person who has really hands-on experience on problem solving, industry experience, manufacturing experience, or ITSM experience, a person who has done that before and he is very clear, only he can give you that clear idea and clarity over the concepts. And that is where I was very sure about XergY or Lean Six Sigma Pro, because Srinivas has a very vast and wide experience in different sectors, not only manufacturing, but ITSM also, and service-based industries. And through our discussion, couple of discussion, I didn't make an immediate decision saying that I will join Lean Six Sigma Pro, but I had a couple of discussions with Srinivas. I made myself very confident that yes, Srinivas can help me in realizing what I want to do. And then only I saw the content of the training, what he is offering. And I was sure, based on my previous experience, I was pretty much sure that he can help me a lot in this direction. And that is when I thought, okay, let me go ahead with XergY and take their Lean Six Sigma training, green belt training. And I must say that the decision what I made was like not with I would say not with full confidence, because again, okay, I have spoken to him. Yes, there's an online classroom. Because of COVID, it was not a classroom based training, it was an online training course. So I was still half minded. Okay, I have already paid, and what can go wrong or what can really go well. But the moment the training started, day one, day two, and the way Srinivas uh, the approach that he took, and his teaching style, and the concepts how he taught it were really good. And I was quite impressed uh, with him and his way of teaching. And then it is all like fairy tale for me. I was always like, okay, there were a lot of interactions, very good meaningful interactions. People from different sectors were there. It is not only I'm handling some manufacturing kind of questions, but also the variety of topics in this direction were discussed, and problems from different sectors were discussed. So it was really eye opener for me. I was quite happy with the training. So you can see the grin on my face, right? So talking about it, it really feels good. So I would also like again try to be part of Lean Six Sigma Pro for my future trainings also. Yeah.
Good to know. Good to know. Absolutely good to know that.
Hmm.
So even before this pandemic and things became online, I always had a question as to, or somewhere I believed personal interaction is much more closer, if I want to call it, than an online or a virtual one. So always I was skeptical about online courses specifically. Uh, but you went through an online course, and obviously there is an advantage. You also mentioned there is a diverse group, not from the same city, not from the same industry sector. Everybody can join online from whichever part of the globe they are. Uh, but was it engaging? Matlab, you talked about it, you enjoyed everything, but was it as engaging as it would have been in a classroom? Or because there are limitations at online, right? So how did it all? How were those limitations addressed?
See, there's always a challenge when it is an online course, be it technical challenges like your network going off or multiple people talking at a time. So those challenges are there everywhere. But the content, what you discuss, okay, and the discipline in the group, that was really fantastic. I would say that most of the team members who were part of that training, this thing, were really well, like highly professional, and it was a well handled training online course, that I would say. And Srinivas, as a I would say that trainer, he was able to answer each and every questions that was posed to him, be it any sector. And the concepts which were discussed each and every day, we were given like quite a lot of homeworks just to brush up the skills that we have learned in the online course. We were like told to do this. And one thing that I should emphasize here is uh, the way that Srinivas emphasizes on learning the concepts than just attending the course, taking the certification. This is not what he wants. In most of the training classes, what you have see is, okay, you attend the training class for 14 days or 52 weeks, then you give up the exam, you take the certificate, and you're gone. And you don't know the tutor, you don't again talk to any of your teammates. But here, it is not the case. Each and every day, what we discussed and the way Srinivas used to guide us is really fun. Even to date, we all are on one WhatsApp group discussing each and every other problem that we have on everyday basis. So this is how the it's kind of a family now. So this kind of I would say in our sector, it is like we say not only sales but after sales service is also important, right? If I have to relate there, this is how it is in XergY or Lean Six Sigma Pro. It is not only the training that they give and they forget you. They put you regularly with into a lot of discussions where you learn every day. It's not that you learn from the training and it's over. Now the beauty part is not only the classroom training, the content what he has explained to us, but there is also a lot of industry case studies that has been discussed every day. So he gives us a lot of questions, real live examples of what is happening in the industries, and he wants us to answer and get the solutions to the problems. This makes you think in a lot of different direction, not only your industry but a lot of other industries also. So you know what is happening, what are the problems, how you can solve it, what is the approach that you have to take. That itself is a methodology, right? So that is the beauty of Six Sigma. And when it is taught in the right way, like what is being taught here, then you get the very beautiful understanding and a very strong hold on the concepts and methodology itself. So this is what I feel, the hold and the understanding what you get with the discussions and the problem solving that we are doing with the case studies is is matchless. So you can't expect better than this.
Sure. So you are into continuous improvement, and learning is
Mhm.
also a continuous journey, right? It's never
Yeah, yeah.
exam is over and that's not the end of learning. But what I hear from you is there is an ecosystem which is available, and it's not only between you and the trainer and your batchmates, but all the alumni of Lean Six Sigma Pro and from different industries. So that gives you the diversity of how this concept can be applied in different scenarios, and it's a
True, true.
continuous learning which goes on. So obviously you had certain expectations from the training, and I understand those expectations were met. Obviously you did your certification and you
Mhm.
moved on, and today will you be able to apply any of those at your workplace, and has that shown a remarkable difference
Mhm.
between the way you used to approach it? Because I understand you have been implementing it based on your knowledge what is there, then you got yourself enabled, trained, certified, and then you are applying it again. So were you able to see a difference in the way you were doing it earlier and the way you do it now?
Yes, to put it very in simple words, I used to do a lot of things on my gut feeling and common sense. Okay, so yeah, you know there is a problem, you can solve it. There are multiple ways to solve it, multiple approaches that you can take to solve it. So that was the way we used to do it, and yeah, many a times the problem were like solved, and we had a lot of saying. But if you have to have a consistent results and get better results of the approach that you take, then it should be a very systematic approach, very well defined data driven approach. And that is where, with training and with the formal education, with the problem solving methodologies, you will be able to take the problem head on and solve it in a very well prepared manner, instead of just with your gut feeling, okay, I'll do this and the problem gets solved, or I know this might work or this might not work, so I'll do this. And that is not the way. If someone is doing that, yes, maybe for some reason, yes, it is working, but there is a very beautiful way of problem solving. And I would say Six Sigma is that way. Okay, where maybe you know the result, you know the reason for the problem, or you don't know the causes, but there is a very systematic approach to each and every problem solving. So Six Sigma does that. And now with this knowledge, there is a well defined steps of problem solving. So with this defined structure, if you're trying to solve a problem, then the results are much better and consistent. This is what I would say. And I've experienced this because before also I used to do a lot of small projects. And yeah, sometimes in between the project would fail because you don't know, you're not working systematically, and maybe there's no data, sufficient data. You don't know from where to get the data, what type of data is required. Those are the challenges. So with the formal training in Six Sigma, I am sure each and every person will be able to understand what is the problem, how to approach the problem, how to solve it, what are the tools required to solve it. And it is a beautiful journey, I would say. And after the training also, like I've started a couple of small projects. One project is almost complete, and there was a saving of 20k euros, which is good at that level. And I have taken two more projects, smaller projects, and expected to complete it by end of November or early December. So maybe, yeah, I can update you further date. So it's a very interesting journey that I have taken up, and I'm very happy with it. So yeah.
Yeah, that's very nice to know, interesting to know, because at the end of the day, all this is where the business outcomes have to be achieved, right? It's not about a theoretical exercise which happens. At the end of the day, the place where you work and the business leaders would want to see either the revenues go or the profitability improves. There has to be the
That's right.
business outcome for that. Awesome, very nice. And you are in that particular domain. So continuous improvement is what your role is specifically. Now, having said that, maybe a last bit from my side. If somebody is today contemplating, should I or should I not, in terms of Lean Six Sigma as a methodology, should I pursue it? Should I learn about it? Is it relevant today? Is it only manufacturing, or I come from a different industry? It could be pharma, it could be maybe sales, it could be IT. With your experience, I know you come from a manufacturing background, but obviously you know the concept behind it. In your view, is Lean Six Sigma as a methodology relevant even today and across industries? And if yes, how should a person, an individual who wants to learn about it, go about doing things?
Okay. To be very straightforward to your question, even as a engineer, I had this understanding, wrong understanding of Lean Six Sigma is only limited to manufacturing, but it is not. Lean Six Sigma or Six Sigma as a tool can be used in any of the sectors, be it manufacturing, be it service, IT, pharma, medical, wherever you want, you can use it as a problem solving tool. And this understanding, what I have today, was all because of the discussions what we had on the group, okay, on the during the training, because people from different sectors or different industries were part of that training session, and each of them had their own problems. And when we started discussing the solution for these problems, that is when this myth what I had, this understanding what I had in my mind, that Lean Six Sigma is very much limited to only manufacturing, is gone. So it can be applied to any of the industries, but you need to have a proper understanding to how to use it in that particular industry. That is very clear. No industry is similar, so they will have their own challenges, they have their own methodology, they have their own processes. So you need to just understand what tool I need to use at what time and how to use it. So this requires a formal training as such, because you can get a lot of information on internet today, but many are contradictory. And when it goes to Lean or Six Sigma, you jump into some group discussion, you'll have hundreds of people debating on the same topic in their own possible way. So as a beginner, people will definitely get tend to confused. Okay, they'll confuse a lot, they'll just go out of mind. So this is where you require a very good education or very good formal training, and that is why I even joined a course in Lean Six Sigma. After going through all the content what they have, the instructor's experience, his industry exposure, there's quite a lot to it that you have to see. Without saying, yeah, you can join any course, get some presentations, download it, they'll give you tons of presentations, and that's it. You are supposed to read it yourself, understand yourself, and you go and search the term on the internet, you get 30 different definitions for one term. So that is not the way to understand, because you'll get confused and you're nowhere. So I would recommend that understand the concept, go do your research, get a institute where you are really confident, and that is where I was very confident with the Lean Six Sigma Pro, and the way they handled it, the way they put you into discussions, the way they answers your questions, everything. So all the points were really good for me. So yes, I would recommend Lean Six Sigma Pro. If I have to personally say, I would recommend any people, any person who is like thinking of doing a Lean Six Sigma training, then I would definitely recommend Lean Six Sigma Pro for them, because I am very confident the way they handle the students, like and the way they teach, the approach that they take. Everything is more industry oriented. It is not a classroom training. Let me tell you, it is very practical, industry oriented, and when the topics that you discuss and then you go back to your company, you see the things there, that is where you can what I would say, the match the points and link them. Okay, this is what I was like thought, and this is how I have to see the problem. So if you have this uh, thinking, right, then I am sure that you can solve any problem. You should be able to link those points. This is what the tool says, and this is how I can use it to like solve this problem. And this comes from a very good training. It is not easy. So I'm very confident about this. So I would I'm also planning to do my black belt now. Since I have completed my green belt, I would be doing my black belt again with Lean Six Sigma Pro, and I'm sure Srinivas will help me a lot in this regard. I'm looking forward to it, Sangram.
Awesome. That's a very good to know, and uh, good to know that you have been able to implement it as well in your organization. So obviously, this is not the last of the interactions. Obviously, we'll interact more. I would certainly more than exciting to know what are the upcoming two projects and how they are going.
Sure.
And yeah, you started with 20k euros as a saving, but I'm sure uh, with more and more complex problems to solve, you will be able to give much more business value add to your organization. And all the best. I'm sure that you work in a German MNC. I'm sure from here
Mhm.
you will drive projects which will be global in nature, and do improvements across all the factories out in plants what you have globally. And sitting
Mhm.
here in India, you will drive those projects. I can see that you doing it.
Yeah, even I hope that I take up a lot of projects, because now taking a project is kind of how would I put it? It's a fun factor now, because you know the game. So when you're confident that you can handle projects, you can solve the problems. Your enthu is more, so you can take up more projects and you can solve them. So it is a fun factor now for me. So yeah, I'm looking forward for such projects, and I'm sure my company is also very keen on getting such projects and solving the problems for them.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Looking forward for it, Suhas. Thanks for taking the time out, and all the best in your journey.
Thank you, Sangram. It's always my pleasure. Thank you. Have a good day. Yeah.
Good. Thank you.